to serve, especially the senior citizens in the area. You know, we provide things like smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, fire extinguishers. Plus we have a community garden, which we grow food and give it to our members and neighborhood members. Strugglers Hill has a whole lot of successes. I didn't join Strugglers Hill until 2006, and I was elected president in 2013. And I'm more or less a newcomer. They got dusk to dawn lights put in some of the alleys. We've had streets paved that otherwise wouldn't have got paved. We put trash cans in certain areas where, you know, people would throw trash. And a few things. Big 11 Lake, which is in our area, we were instrumental in getting the traffic around the lake. It was a lot of drug traffic and stuff like that around there. Getting signs up so they couldn't park on the streets and stuff like that. So, and also, I'm a volunteer with the EPA. And I collect samples for the EPA to test, you know, in order to keep the lake safe for fishing. It's a lot of challenges, like housing, for one. It's a lot of vacant lots and housing that needs to be demolished. Actually, we bought several lots in the area, and we wanted to make a playground for some of the kids, like a soccer field. And it's just an ongoing thing to stay vigilant in the neighborhood to keep things up. One thing we've done recently, the gas company came through and put in new gas lines. And, you know, they thought they were through, but what happened was where they put the gas line in, the grass caved in people's yards. They couldn't even cut the yards. So we went through and took pictures of all this and called the gas company, had a meeting with them along with one of the commissioners and pointed out these things to them, and they graciously did those things and went and corrected those things, but otherwise they probably wouldn't have. Well, we've been having the block parties and so on and so forth. We have a member that's vice president of the Livable Neighborhoods Association. We have former commissioner that, well, he was a counselor back then, they called him counselors. And he's up on the government, plus Ms. Newton, who's the vice president, she keeps us informed on the latest stuff that's going on, and we try to have members to go to the meetings. That it's important to bring back information so that we can communicate this information to the neighborhood and our membership. It's face-to-face. Most of our members are not embracing the technology, so it has to be face-to-face on the call. We've only had a very few the Hispanic to participate, although we had a block party back in 2013, and we had a whole lot of them to come participate, you know, in that, and it was very successful. We had a video of it, pictures and everything. We recently had, this year, we had a garden party, and the participation wasn't too good at all. It bumped up against Juneteenth and some other things, and but we did have minimal participation from the Hispanics, and also the mayor attended, which we thought was great. Well, it's only a few streets that have sidewalks. Now, back in the old days, all the streets had sidewalks. But when they tore down the houses and stuff like that, they were brick sidewalks. They took the bricks. So, you know, the only sidewalks we have now are the school corridor that they had to put in, the city had to put in, and we also have a model block that we got done through the city, which has sidewalks, curbs, new curbs, and refurbished But other than that, you know, the streets are pretty bad in that area. It definitely does, especially during the winter. You know, people have to walk in the street, you know, get through. And on the main streets, just like 10th Street, for instance, the curbs are so bad they really deteriorate. You know, we just wonder why the city takes so long to refurbish stuff like that. That is a main street to go through. My favorite experience actually is growing up in the area when I was a kid. It was always something to do, not a lot of crime, anything like that. You could leave your doors unlocked. It's like it takes a village to raise a kid. And our community down there, that's exactly what happened. Neighbors see you do something down the street, your parents knew about it before you got home, you know, and it kept you in line. And also the schools were the teachers, you know, they were very accessible for things. You know, they went above their call of duty. And I think that at least my generation, some generations before, really got a good education and a good sound sense of fairness, you know, of life, you know, how to treat people. A miracle. A miracle.
I love it.
It's just not, it could never be like it was. Probably don't like to mention this, but I grew up in a segregated town. And our community, we had a cross section of people, rich, poor, educated, uneducated. Like my dad didn't finish high school. My mom, although my mom wasn't from Kansas City, Kansas, my dad wasn't either. My mom graduated from a university, Northwestern University in Illinois. And my dad made a pretty good living, although we were poor. He was a machinist. And I just admired him for being, because he could run the machine. He had us, he knew how to fix all the other machines in the plant. He was a very instrumental man where he worked at. And that inspired me to learn and stuff, you know. So, for the community, going back like it was, I don't think it would ever happen again. Not like it was.
You're the bomb. Clifford, you did it. Very good, Clifford. You did it. You represented. That was awesome. That was so good. Yeah. He was so thorough.
I
And very
good, Clifford.
And he spoke so you could hear what he was saying.
Right.
Miss Bloodworth would be proud of him. I mean, he spoke out.
In other words, you mean I got to change my opinion.
Oh, Clifford, you did an awesome job.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Very powerful.
Very good.
He brought so much to the table. I mean, so much.
That's
That's
You
why
answered the question. You
all
really
the
did.
neighborhoods are
You stuck
experiencing
to
the
the
same. It's just
script.
amazing. It's the
And,
same
yeah.
thing. It's all over. All over Wyandotte County.
Absolutely. As we
We're
start
all
to,
wanting the same things.
It's
We're all
designed
wanting
office.
those things.
yeah. And that's really what emerges, and that's what we plan to provide back to the at our quarterly meeting, or the themes that people captured. And you just hear the same things: housing, sidewalks, ADA, you know, living for people to be able, seniors to be able to age in place, you know. And it's just so obvious that the real work, the way things are changing, is coming from the neighborhoods. You know, like what Mr. Ligon said about calling the gas company, and it wouldn't have happened without that. And those same type of stories are, you know, mirrored. Donnie says the exact same thing. I have to call him, it wouldn't happen with, and so you really start to see that the strength, the power, it's all coming from neighborhood associations. You know, people like you who really have been in the trenches, caring, working every day to try to improve bit by bit by bit. You know, and so that, I think these videos do a really great job of highlighting that, and they wouldn't be anything without the people, you know.
And you know, another thing that is showing, the neighborhoods don't get support.
Right,
It's just right, it's so blatant.
yes.
I mean, why
Exactly.
should we, no, never mind.
No, you're absolutely right. Why, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to sit there and call the city and call the city and call the city, you know?
When we go to, and they want you to participate, and I said I wasn't gonna say anything. When you are called, you know, when they're wanting to utilize you, and you're sharing with them, you know, you can't, what would you like? You can't think of outside of what you would like to have, because we don't have the basics.
Right.
It's just like, we don't have water, lights, food and stuff. We can't go any further than that. So until those things have been taken care
Your
of,
basic needs.
you know, you can't go any further than that.
Absolutely.
And you can't even think about anything other than that. You know, I'd like to have a sidewalk. I would like to be able to, I'm a senior, I would like to be able to take a walk around my neighborhood. I can't do that.
Right.
I can do it for maybe a block or a half a block, but I can't do that because there are no sidewalks. Those curbs are crumbling, and if you
Right.
walk in the street, you might get killed. So, you know, it's everywhere. It's all the neighborhoods. And I bet when we look at it's probably the same everywhere.
It is. And Mr. Boyce up there, I was talking to him, I talked to him a little bit, and he can't rent out his other building next there because no one wants to rent out with the bad sidewalks.
Right.
You know, and so you're talking about economic development, you're talking about turning over the dollar in your own community, but it shouldn't take someone having to make such an individualized effort. I think it's brilliant that you're able to get dusk to dawn lights, but why can't why shouldn't that just be the standard?
Yeah.
You know? And so I think that that's what these videos do to highlight, and then also bring attention to the people really doing the work. You know, so many of these funders out here, you have to have
Visitors come in.
Oh, it's up to you.
We have 2 visitors that Jerry knows about.
Well,
Can
they're having a special thing here for the children to learn how to do
they-
Braille.
Braille challenge.
And this is their.
These are our parking attendants.
That's present.
But yeah, it's my hope that you can take this information and we can help you. Oh my gosh. Oh, wonderful. That's Mother Goose and hat.
They're doing this to teach the children how to read Braille.
Well, it's a Braille competition,
Lovely.
actually.
That's wonderful.
This is, wait a minute.
Adorable.
Yeah. No, they're going to go out and assist parents bringing kids in tonight. They're starting to about 5.
Go girls.
They'll spend the night in the dorm.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I forgot my music. I forgot. Sorry. Oh, well. I'm sorry, Chester, what did you say?
This one thing I want you to know our group done, and I'm really proud of, is we had a drug house up the street.
Okay.
And we got stopped, didn't we?
Yeah.
They were buying stolen merchandise, stolen cars, and this group's gonna stop it. Yep. I'm proud of that.
I think that's great.
Are they students?
No.
They're
Teachers.
They're teachers.
Teachers,
All
kids,
right, all
totally
right.
deaf and mute.
Uh-huh.
Like, don't kill her. She's amazing.
Can't tell me the purpose of, I'm taking minutes, so I'll have to.
This is
Dr.
a
Seuss.
regional Braille challenge event, and the kids who score the highest go on to a national Braille challenge. But really, what it's for is to motivate kids in Braille
Take your picture.
and give them credit for all their work in learning Braille.
Got it.
It's just a motivational, rewarding time to bring together. And a lot of these kids are the only blind kids they know in their area, and so they've got some good friendships built up over the years and coming together at summer school and things like this. So they all have a lot of fun.
That's wonderful.
Thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you for letting us.
Thank you.
So HMA has, I believe, 14 registered, but there's only about 10 that are active. 2 other ones kind of in and out, and then there's a lot of gaps. There's some gaps on the north side of Quindaro, what would be on the other side of Parkwood, Colony Neighborhood Association. So that was another thing is, it's my hope that you can take this video and if HMA can provide any assistance to build the capacity of the neighborhoods, to build your own capacity, to highlight the work that you're doing, because so often the funders, and this is a challenge HMA, we're not a big organization, we have a small budget, and we had to figure out a way to get an audit in order to get money, which can be a huge barrier, and they wanna see what's your capacity and la-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, all this and all that, and they're forgetting that you guys are already doing the work, we're already doing the work, and so it's my hope that these can be of use in building your capacity further than there already is, because you guys are ahead of a lot of my other neighborhood associations, and and really highlight the work you do so that the money is actually building the capacity, empowering the capacity of the people, because then when the money's gone, what's left, as my mom likes to say, what's left after the money's gone.
Can I make a comment on one of the things? I've been down here for most of my life, and our sewer systems have to have something done. I feel like before we do the sidewalks, because if you do the sidewalks and the streets, and then you need to have to deal with the sewers, you're spending money twice.
Right.
Every time it rains, I get
The overflow.
in my building.
The overflow.
I got a hole right now that is washed out. In another month or so, when it starts raining, the whole sidewalk's gonna cave in. Somebody could be hurt. I've seen the
Yeah.
streets cave in because of that.
Yeah.
And I've made complaints and complaints. When it rains, sometimes water will get 3 foot at the side of my building on 1120, and the water will come right into my building.
You know
And
what,
I'm sure residents have the same problem, I don't
Right.
know.
I go back to, I know that we get federal funding. And the question is, where is the money?
Yeah.
Where has the money gone?
Right.
What has the money been used? I said I wasn't gonna say these things. But I just find it interesting, because I know when we had, our other commissioner, and I mentioned to him, well, what about the monies, that they are given, are allocated for certain things? So what are they doing with, where is the money going?